Commissioners, good morning everyone. Welcome to the August 8, 2019 Cumberland County Commissioners Workshop meeting. Please stand and join me in the pledge saying, I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I call this meeting to order at 9 p.m. and at this time I open the floor for public comments. Okay, hearing none. Yes.
How do you stand up? Is that how you guys do it?
And identify yourself.
Yes, my name is Pam Long. I work for Representative Barb Line, and I'm here on behalf of her and her constituents. And we just wanted to hear an update or a status with the Wolf's Bridge project. Some of our constituents are hearing that it's being pushed back again, and PennDOT had told Senator Ward and Representative Line that it was fully funded. So I just wanted to see if it was going to be bid this fall.
She's based on our conversations and heard me answer that.
Yeah, you mentioned, you can answer that.
Yeah, we're definitely aware of the situation, and the bridge is not being held up because of construction of other bridges. Okay. There is a process that has to be followed through PennDOT, federal government, so things are in order. The county has done everything it can possibly do in its procedures, paperwork. We're ready to roll. So we are waiting to hear from PennDOT, their legal counsel, I believe, regarding review of the plans, etc. But we don't see any delay in the bidding process coming up. That is our current status at this point. If staff has anything to add to that, my fellow colleagues, please do so.
Yeah, we had a discussion about this during our finance committee meeting yesterday. We're as frustrated as your constituents are, and the residents of Middlesex that it's taken way too long. The bridge has been closed now for almost 6 years. We've done everything on our end here, and we will continue to try to push it along. Not quite sure what the holdup is right now. It's supposed to be bid this month. It's supposed to be under construction in November. We haven't really gotten any good explanations as to why that's not going to happen, if it's not going to happen. So we're going to stay on top of it, but we appreciate the coming this morning and raising the question. We were the first county in the state of Pennsylvania to adopt the $5 vehicle registration fee, which has helped to move all of our bridge projects along and addressing the structurally deficient bridges that we have throughout Cumberland County. This bridge relies primarily though on federal funds, and so there are all kinds of hoops that we've had to go through every time we have a federally funded project. In fact, it was, I don't know, years ago now, where I think Vincent volunteered to do his waders and do his own inspection for the endangered mussels in the creek or whatever it was. But so we had all kinds of studies, we have this with just about every project that requires federal funding. So I think we're all relatively frustrated too, and we'd like to see it happen sooner rather than later. That's all I have to say.
Commissioner Kirk.
Kurt.
There he is.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Yeah.
So Justin just told me to discuss the Wolf Bridge. So just, for sake of reference for our residents, we've expressed concerns too. The point we're at right now with the project is that we've submitted our final plans to PennDOT. They're running them through a process that they call plan check to check all the specifications and estimates that are included therein. And they're also developing a reimbursement agreement for the remaining phases of the project, which includes construction. The project's 100% federal now, which changed from previous phases, so PennDOT is working through that. We've made a request on Monday to PennDOT's chief counsel to give us an update of where the reimbursement agreement stands. We're not able to bid the project until we get that final plan check completed and the reimbursement agreement signed by PennDOT and also the Board of Commissioners.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kurt.
Pam, anything else?
No, that was very helpful, thank you.
I mean, people in Middlesex and anybody who used to use that bridge have every right to be upset, every right to be upset. But I can assure you, we're doing all we can. Some of these pieces are out of our control.
Right.
But I know they don't want to hear that.
I know, that's when we get calls.
I get it, but thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Are there any other public comments? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 3, and I'll call on Commissioner DeFilippo to present Charles Reinhardt with an award for 20 years of service to Cumberland County. Charles and Travis, would you forward, please?
Measure service.
Hi, congratulations. Thank you. Back here. Okay. Charles is celebrating his 20 years of service with the county. He was hired in June of 1999 as a corrections officer. Took a lateral transfer later that year as a records officer. Promoted in June 2004 to records officer 2. Promoted in January 2011 to assistant records manager. And promoted in March 2014 to the records manager position. Charles, congratulations. Thank you for your service. Anything you'd like to say, or? Gordon?
Man of many words. Just like to thank Charlie. He's a very dedicated and loyal employee. And through his experience and knowledge, he's actually grown our booking center into and I consider a model of excellence that we can be proud of, and I hope the county is proud of him.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
20 more.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 4, I'll call on Tammy Bender to discuss the budget resolution 2019-22.
Finance is requesting approval for a budget resolution for criminal justice services. They're increasing revenue and expenses by $50,000. This is based on the MOU that was signed between AOPC and Cumberland County and our opioid intervention.
Any questions for Tammy? Thank you, Tammy. Next, move on to agenda item 5, contract for grants, and I'll call this out.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. If you look at item 5, Roman numeral 1, existing contracts, contract extensions are addendum with no additional cost or increase to the county for the following departments: Children and Youth Services, MHIDD, Planning, and Prison. Are there any questions on those items? Hearing none, I'll move on to Roman numeral 2, new contract with services, grants, and contract increases and decreases. And I'll begin by calling on Joe Kraus to discuss the agreement for aging and community services.
Good morning. This morning, there's Social Security Food Bank, it's their year contract, 19 to 20. The new contract total $182,626.71, which is a reduction of $5,457.53, which I'm sure at the end of the fiscal year we'll be giving back to them.
Are there any questions for Joe? Hearing none, next I'll call Robin Weigel to discuss the agreement for assessments. Robin?
Good morning. This contract is for our server upgrade. This is the part that EST will be handling in coordination with INDO.
Are there any questions for Robin? Thank you, Robin.
Well, we can hold things together till Monday, though.
We're trying. We are trying. Everybody's like on notice that as soon as this goes through, they can proceed.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Robin. Next, I'll call on Jamie Reaver to discuss the agreement for children and youth. Jamie?
It's actually Lisa Ryder. We were here for another reason, so I came instead.
Okay. Sorry.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to ask for approval for a 1920 contract for drug and alcohol rehab services. There's two programs we use. They're kind of significant increases. The first one is supervising and a living program. They're requesting a 23% increase. That's a $29.86. And the Manus House residential drug and alcohol, which is a 17.5% increase, which equates to $18.83. These services are typically funded through Perform Care, and we typically don't have to pay for them. Last fiscal year, JPO had one child placed there, and we actually only had to pay for 8 days. We had 2 children placed there, and it was fully funded, so we typically don't pay for them. And even with the increases, their per diems are significantly lower than other residential group homes in these categories. Any questions?
Thank you, Lisa. Next, Ryan Simon will be discussing the drug and alcohol agreements. Ryan?
Good morning, Commissioners. The first one, Center for Behavioral Health, that's Discovery House in Harrisburg. We would like to add, as we did with ARS, for them to be able to do the outpatient individual and the outpatient group sessions. And those are our normal rates for those two services. Fire Tree, their detox at their Pottsville location is increasing by 9%, $23 a day. That was reviewed by the Home SCA and approved. Then we have Gadenzia for their Concept 90 long-term rehab. They're asking for a 3% increase. That would be $4 a day. Then Pyramid, they have a number of their locations asking for increases. At Duncansville, their detox, they're asking for a 2% increase. Their rehab, they're asking for a 7% increase. And their co-occurring, they're asking for a 1% increase. At their Ridgeview, which is adolescents, they're asking for a 6% increase in their short-term rates. Tradition House, it's a women's halfway house. They're asking for a 6% increase. Gratitude House, it's a men's halfway house. They're asking for an 8% increase. Pine Ridge Manor, it's a men's halfway house. They're asking for an 8% increase. Belleville, short-term rehab, they're asking for an 8% increase. And their long-term rehab, they're asking for an 8% increase. Hillside, their detox at Hillside, they're asking for a 9% increase. Their short-term rehab, they're asking for a 4% increase. Their short-term co-occurring, they're asking for a 3% increase. Their long-term rehab, they're asking for a 5% increase. Their long-term co-occurring, they're asking for a 3% increase. Langhorne, for their detox, they're asking for a 7% increase. At White Deer Run, at their Allen Wood location, they're asking for a 3% increase for detox, short-term and co-occurring. All those are 3% increases. Their Cove Forge detox, they're asking for a 14% increase. Rehab, they're asking for a 5% increase. Co-occurring, they're asking for a 1% increase. Renewal Center, it's a female halfway house, they're asking for an 8% increase. New Perspective location for detox, they're asking for a 5% increase. Rehab, 6%, and co-occurring 6%. At their Blue Mountain location for rehab, they're asking for a 4% increase. At their New Directions location, it's a halfway house for men, they're asking for a 5% increase. Their Lancaster location, detox, they're asking for a 5% increase. Rehab, they're asking for a 4% increase. Their York Davies location, for rehab, they're asking for a 3% increase. Any questions?
Do we utilize all these locations then?
We do not utilize all of them. We have them all just in case they're needed. A number of the ones that are asking for increases we've not used in the last year. But, you know, sometimes the other locations get filled up and we have to go to one of the other ones. And we would be using our state and federal funds for all of this.
Are there any other questions for that? Thank you, Ryan. Next, I'll call on Holly Sherman to discuss the agreement for human resources. Holly?
Good morning. This is an agreement with Castle Branch to conduct our pre-employment screenings. And we are asking is an amendment for a one-year extension. And we are increasing the amount based on prorating or estimation or projection of the number of new hires we anticipate having in the next year. So the increase is based on that. The same rates.
We're estimating a 50% increase.
Well, so the original contract that we did was for the 10,000, and we actually had to add more funds to it. So it's not a true $5,000 increase, it's just based on what we've added in addition.
Are there any other questions for Holly? Thank you, Holly. Next, I'll call on Mark Adams to discuss the agreement for INTL.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is our standard agreement for NetShepherd, who is our wireless network service provider. They do all the maintenance and warranty for connection building to building, and includes 10 links to different buildings of mostly downtown area, 20 radios, and it also includes inspections of the towers, the one that's on this building and the one that's out at Elm Road. Our cost for 2 years is $75,519. That is, according to your paperwork, it's shown as a new contract. It's really the same thing we've been doing for years. Last year, we paid it through a service purchase order, exactly the same price, or 2 years ago, I'm sorry. So no increases from the last 2 years.
Are there any questions for Mark?
The price, there's nothing listed as a price. How much is it?
$75,519.94, and that's a 2-year price. And we paid the same amount in 2017.
Are there any other questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark. Next, I'll call on Amy Strike to discuss the agreement for MHIDP.
Similar to Brian, we have quite a number here. I'll start with fiscal year 18-19. These will be amendments to existing contracts. Increases are due to heavier utilization in services than what we initially believed. So early intervention will start with international corporate training and marketing, a small increase of $877, just again for language interpretation and increased service utilization. The second is Invo Healthcare Associates, and an additional $12,000 due to additional services authorized through Pelican, which is the state authorization system for early intervention. UPMC Pinnacle Hospitals, and this was their infant development program, an increase of $93.78 due to increases in services authorized in Pelican. And then we'll stop. Do you have any questions specific to early intervention?
So this is for the fiscal year that just got underway?
Correct, 18-19. Our reporting will be due to the state come September 30th. So they would have been services authorized and provided prior to June 30th.
Okay.
And we're just catching up with the billing procedures.
So in other words, this is showing for the past fiscal year?
Correct, 18-19.
Okay.
And then for ID services, the Devereaux Foundation, an increase of $27.79 due to increased utilization services authorized through Nexus, which is the system that our ID department uses to authorize services. For UCP, an increase of $52,087, again, for additional services authorized through Nexus. And I believe that is it. kit for 18-19 amendments to prior year contracts. And now move into this current fiscal year, 19-20. And we'll start with intellectual and developmental disabilities, our ID side of the office. Ahead, they're requesting an increase of 65-67, and that's with the projection of increased utilization. So using last year's numbers projecting into the new fiscal year.
80 were showing a decrease, 17
It is a decrease, I'm sorry, I misspoke. A decrease.
Just checking.
And then Alma Healthcare, med staffers, and this is an increase of $7,019. And last year's contract was only for a month and a half, so this would be a full year contract, at least that's what they're projecting. Gold, this is an in-home and community support provider that was new to our department last year, and they're requesting a decrease of $44,563. So then their contract is going to be around $16,807. Living Unlimited, a decrease of $27.69, and that's based on, again, services that are authorized through HCSIS. Messiah Lifeways, an increase of $19.05, based on projections from services authorized through HCSIS. PA Life Sharing, a decrease of $29,823, based on projections in utilization through HCSIS last year. The ARC of Cumberland and Perry counties, an increase of $31,857, based on projections from last year. And they provide, the ARC, as you know, provide many services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities in our community. Cornerstone Agency of PA, this is a decrease of $8,027, and it's based on services authorized through HCSIS. And then one more for IB, and that's UCP, and this is a decrease of $4,214, and that's based on utilization authorizations through HCSIS. Any questions specific to intellectual and developmental disabilities? Okay, I'll proceed with the mental health side of the office. These are renewals. The first one is NHS Stevens Center, an increase of $135,879, and they are one of our largest providers of mental health services in our area. And the increase is predominantly to keep up with staffing costs, personnel, try to keep good people working. And then the second contract is with the Redevelopment Authority, an increase of $19,049, and that's for housing support. We contract with the Redevelopment Authority. Do you folks have any questions?
Actually, I'm going to go back just for a second. The contract we have with the Messiah Lifeways.
Yes.
That's for like daycare for folks with intellectual.
Yeah, it's like a day program for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So folks go there and social sorts of activities.
Okay. Thank you. I was guessing.
Yes, you're correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Next, Shively will discuss the agreements for public safety.
Good morning. The first one is the CenturyLink via phone system annual maintenance renewal. This is for the phone system that provides all the phones for the office, the Emergency Operations Center, as also the 10-digit phone lines for the 911 Center. It's a one-year renewal for $20,087.83. This is an increase of $1,456.83. The next one is the Pima 2019-2020 Radiation Emergency Response Fund grant. You had approved the application for this grant back in March. We've now been awarded the grant, and this will be the approval of the grant agreement issues to support our radiation emergency response program. That grant this year, the spending plan is for a new portal monitor, EOC computers, some of them being replaced, some equipment, and our yearly equipment calibration. The next one is the Homeland Security Grant Program with Pima in the amount of $1,500,000 $569,753. This is a decrease of $72,004. It's the 8-county regional grant administered from the Department of Homeland Security through Pima to the 8-county regional South Central Task Force. That funding is distributed across the 8 counties based on the funding priorities. They do a threat and hazard identification risk assessment, and then those priorities are identified so that projects, equipment, training, exercises for the region can all be put into the application for the grant and work back up through. And then the final one is with Roar Bus Service. This is for the LEPC Sarah Summit. It's a no-cost contract to provide transportation during the summit between the conference center and the dining facility in the event there's any mobility accommodations or inclement weather. That'll provide the shuttle during the conference between the 2 facilities. And Aurora Bus has agreed to donate that service.
Under other questions?
Yeah, well, the Homeland Security Grant, which is essentially for the region, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
South Central Task Force. Does any of that money go toward salaries at all, or is that mostly for equipment?
It does not go towards salaries at the counties. There are planning specialists, contractors for the task force that handle the planning and coordination for task force projects. So project manager and planning specialist for the different subcommittees that are coordinated and handle the projects.
I may have seen this in the past, but is there a way that you could, somebody could provide us with a delineation of how those dollars are expended? I mean, that's a lot of money, $1.6 million.
Sure. Yeah, I can provide that.
That'd be interesting to take.
Sure.
Thank you. Next up, Justin Miller, he's joining us BTC for the grant for recycling and waste. And then Justin will move on to agenda item number 7. Justin?
Good morning, Commissioners. So what I have before you is DEP's annual Dino 4 Recycling Performance Grant. It is strictly a rewards grant. Counties and municipalities are eligible to apply. So every year I help municipalities get data for their applications. Sometimes the data comes in county only. I use that data to apply for the grant on behalf of the county, plus some of the recycling that the county does internally. Estimating that the award would be $18,034.87.
Any questions for Justin?
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Justin. You can move on to item 7.
Okay, this, bear with me a few minutes by explaining this one. So this is paperwork to transfer ownership of grant-funded recycling equipment that the county currently owns. We have 2 windrow turners that were bought in 1994 with 902 recycling grant money. When you get a grant, you enter into an agreement. It basically says if you decide you no longer need this equipment, you have to come back to DEP for disposition instructions. What they will try to do is, one, encourage you to trade the equipment on new equipment. Well, if that equipment is so old, the manufacturer doesn't exist anymore, I cannot find any business interested in taking a trade of that equipment. So then they'll try to encourage you to transfer ownership to another governmental entity that can use the equipment. So we identified Hampton Township. They showed interest in the machines. We essentially replaced those machines with a new machine last year. Everyone else is using a new machine. Hampton has continued to use the old one. The new one does not do as wide a pile or as high a pile, but you can put them closer together. Hampton has been reluctant to change how they build their piles, so they want to keep this old machine. So this would be approval to transfer ownership of these turners over to Hampton Township. We can ask for 10% of the estimated current value, and I talked to Hampton, and they've agreed to pay us $750 with an estimated total value of $7,500. I did check with all our other municipal sites if anyone had interest. I didn't want to exclude them. None of them had interest in obtaining this equipment. So by signing this agreement, we're essentially, Hampton would take over all the grant responsibility and ownership requirements, and the machine would become theirs.
So what's the value of the equipment?
We've estimated $7,500.
It's only worth that much?
Yeah, we looked at some bidding. Due to the age of machines and the fact that SCAT no longer exists, they're just really not worth much again.
Okay, all right.
So I have a question. Given the constraints you've outlined here that the state puts on it, how do they handle the natural end of the service life of a piece of machinery this old? If you can't scrap it without having to refund the money, and nobody else wants it, am I missing something there?
Yeah. No, if you can't trade it or no one wants it, then they would direct us to scrap it, take it to a scrap yard.
Yeah.
We would have to return 90% of the scrap money we would get for the machine because they originally paid for 90% of the purchase price.
Even something that's depreciated that long?
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, that's in the grant agreement language.
Okay.
So actually, by transferring it, I looked at what the machines weigh, where I thought we could get scrap value. By transferring it, we're going to result in a better deal than scrap.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was just curious if there are any other avenues other than scrapping it, paying them that much. So it just seems kind of,
Yeah, they really push trade or transfer.
yeah, I can understand that, but this machinery is 1994 model, did you say?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
all things wear out. Commissioner Herzog can tell you that.
I was just thinking with the new voting systems, how nice it would be to just have the old caddy machine back again. But no, I mean, it must be a value to Hampton Township, and Hampton Township intends to continue using it for a while, right?
They
I mean, it's still running, it still works.
Yeah, well, so we have two of them. What has happened is the one has become a parts machine to keep the other one running. So when something breaks on the other one, you pull the part off the old one.
So they're gonna continue to hopefully try to patch it all together, right, and keep it working.
Patch it up, yeah. That's only gonna last for so long.
Okay, all right. Sounds like, I guess we should be happy Hampton's willing to take it.
So now when Hampton scraps it, they're under the same constraint, they have to.
Absolutely. And I clarify that. Well, the letter says that they assume all grant responsibilities. So they'll have to follow the same procedure when they decide they no longer want it.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move on to agenda item 6, and I'd like to combine that with discussion of the capital project request that Bob has. Bob will be discussing the donations to the Sarah Summit as well as the public safety capital project for the 225 public safety radio system under capital project agenda 9.
The first one is we have two more donations or additional sponsors for the 2019 Sarah Summit. The first one is from Arc Safety, a bronze sponsor for $250. And then Capital Blue Cross, a gold sponsor for $1,000. With these two, that'll bring us to 16 sponsors for $8,400.
Any questions for Bob on that? Okay, Bob, you want to move on to agenda 9 for public safety portion?
Okay, our capital project for the P25 public radio system. For quite a while, we've been planning, preparing, and conducting presentations and discussions at various meetings, the finance meeting, public safety review team meetings, and some of our various partner safety meetings, partner emergency service meetings. We're currently in the initial phases of our site planning and prepared now to start some of that work. And we haven't done the formal capital project approval, so I'm here today requesting your approval for the capital project and the original estimated cost project figures. We broke the project into 5 major categories: the site layout plan and tower replacements, the microwave network, which connects all the towers together, the radio infrastructure and dispatch consoles, professional services, and contingency. The total project cost is estimated between 16 and 23 million. The project will allow us to transition from our current open sky system to the Project 25 public safety radio system. Project 25, or P25, is the national public safety radio standard. The surrounding counties have already transitioned, and the state is currently implementing their transition to a P25 radio system. Our current timeline is for 2023 to do the cutover, and like I said, we wanted to have a well-planned, timely transition so that it can be well-planned with the partner agencies, that they can fiscally plan, and we can have a smooth transition.
Any questions? Thank you, Bob. Agenda item has been previously discussed, and we'll move on to agenda item 8, and I'll call on Nikki McElwain to discuss the CYS based on news-based compensation.
Good morning, Commissioners. We've got one additional. Today to present to you the needs-based plan and budget for children, youth, and juvenile probation for fiscal year 2021. And today we're going to review the narrative section, but we're also going to give you the review of the fiscal section as well. In review of our past year, one of our strengths for CYS has definitely been our continued collaboration with GPO, mental health, intellectual developmental disabilities, drug and alcohol, and community services. With our peer departments we've met, we've done a lot of cross-training, and we work collaboratively to provide a really good service to the families in Cumberland County. In preparation for the budget, I always look at the statistics, and I handed out one of the charts. For the past fiscal year, we have started to see our referrals level off. We've seen a small decrease in intake, about 6%, and we've seen a small increase in placement, about 3%. And as you can see in the charts from last year, we're really seeing them level off, which is a positive. Drilling down though and looking at our placement numbers, we're seeing an increase with children with complex cases. And they require a higher level of care in placements such as group homes and residential treatment facilities. We're going to have to continue to work collaboratively with our peers and drill down to see what we can do to support those families prior to those high level placements. Our kinship foster home, though, is increased. That's higher than our traditional foster home, which is a strength. If the child does have to be removed, we're able to find kinship families to come forward and become foster parents, which is less traumatic for the children. This year in the budget, we've looked to add more in-home services to those kinship families so that we can support those placements and help them during that time. One of our challenges continues to be our staff turnover. We're back to 30% for our staff turnover for the past fiscal year. One of the things we did is recently we worked with the Human Resources Department and conducted a survey of our staff, and we received 63 responses, which is about 75% of my staff. And just this week, we started reviewing all of the outcomes of the survey to start looking at what we can do to help maintain staff, increase morale, and try to decrease our staff turnover. As you know, part of our needs-based budget, I'm always looking to the future, to what services and staff that we want to ask for. One of the areas that services that we are asking for this year is some housing money, and that's specifically to help families, either to prevent placement or to help reunification to happen faster. I did write to request for 8 additional staff. Those are 4 case aid 3s, a fiscal technician, a casework supervisor, a casework manager, and an attorney. Most of these positions are going to help balance our workload and look at the caseworker to supervisor ratio to make sure it's a 4-to-1 ratio. Specifically, though, the case aid 3s is a very new position for our agency, and those positions are a support to the caseworkers. We actually got some information from some other counties that use them, and they will be able to type notes and do some supplemental work for the caseworkers, so they're not doing as much data entry and they're in the field more with their families. As you are aware, I asked for these positions in the budget, but that does not mean we're filling any of them. All those positions for creation and filling would come before the Board of Commissioners. We've definitely made some changes in the past year. We've improved documentation and our engagement with our families, and we will continue to work on our office morale and staff retention and hopefully decrease those numbers. Now we'll talk about the fiscal side.
Quick question on that. I had, I can't remember who I forwarded it to, seeing the sheet right. But I became aware recently of a program Franklin County is using. They're using on their MH staff, but they're trying to retain caseworkers. It's offered through Shippensburg University. And I don't know much about it, but I can get the name. I'm looking for the email. And I'll forward it to, I don't know if it's something that will apply or not, but we could always make an inquiry with Franklin County as well and see who they're doing. They're saying it's been successful for them. So
Great. I can look into that. Franklin County is out of civil service, so that's always sometimes it's not really.
Okay.
We're still in.
Right.
So look forward to you so we can just look at it. Thank you.
So this is our budget summary, which hopefully you guys are familiar with. I'll explain it column by column. The first one is fiscal year 18-19, and that is the fiscal year that just ended. And at the bottom, where I have estimated overmatch, you'll be happy to see there's nothing there. So this year, I believe we will not be an overmatch. Those numbers are estimate, but I think they're fairly close to being finalized. So we will not be an overmatch this fiscal year. The next fiscal year is fiscal year 19-20. That is our implementation year. That year, those numbers that bring in the revenues, they were certified based on what we submitted last year at this time. So basically, for implementation year, we shift money around based on our spending from prior fiscal year. So then, after shifting the money, and at the end, there's a possibility of an overmatch of $554,000, which I have to show it, but I don't believe will be there. Last year when we submitted at this time, I had an estimated overmatch of like $597,000, and we came in this year not having an overmatch. So it just depends on how the numbers change at the end of the fiscal year. And if we continue to maintain where we're at, I think we should not be, but we have to check it. And then fiscal year 2021 is basically, I always call it our wish list year. We put in everything we think we may need, and also a little more for additional placements or the additional staff. And that's our wish list year. And that would be overmatch if we were certified based on what we submitted. Any questions? It's pretty easy. This year we weren't in overmatch. We didn't ask for anything more than crazy, so it's pretty just good. I do want to mention on the second one, the chart, or the graph, I did have a column at the bottom which shows percentage of the county share, and we typically run at 17% of the overall budget. The county share is typically 17%. fiscal year 17-18, it's showing 21.4%. That's if we do not receive our overmatch payment, which we did receive notification we will be receiving it. So once we receive that, I will change that number to 16.6%. And then obviously in 1920, I'm showing 19.6, but basically that's an estimate. So basically we run around 17% of the total budget. Any questions?
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 9, discussion of capital project request, and we'll begin with Brad King to discuss the capital for CMRC. Brad?
Good morning, Commissioners. We're requesting approval to replace one of our buses with a new bus. The bus we want to replace is a 2003 bus. It was formerly a county transportation bus that we purchased used back in 2012, which we sunk about $5,000 into to purchase plus repairs and get it on the road. And since then, we spent $10,500 in repairs over 7 years, and we've only put about $5,000 on it. It's been a money pit. People are afraid to actually drive it, take people out in it because of unreliability. It was towed 3 times last year, and it will not pass inspection. I just confirmed that this morning. The side door is rusted out. I don't know if you've seen the picture. We either replaced the door. I don't know if it was actually repaired once before. Like I said, it's just a point. It just needs to be replaced. And the goal is our 2009 bus that is used daily by for our doctor appointments has 180,000 miles on it, and that's starting to show some wear, some repairs. So what we'll do is rotate that to the activity backup bus for the 2003, and the doctor appointment, the new bus will be for the doctor appointments. I was asked to reach out to Rapid Transit to see if they had any used, and I did, and they do not. They have 2 buses, one direct, one will have transmissions. So I really didn't want to do that route anyhow because we learned from this experience and probably it would want to do it. If part of this money, I have a price of like $75,000 for a bus. Marketing had $6,300 in for this year to wrap a bus. I think they were going to rewrap the one we had because some phone numbers changed or whatever. I said, well, it doesn't make sense to do that. So we would put this on the new bus if we would get this. If we don't do this, my recommendation is we just downgrade to 2 buses, which could create some transportation need problems, but I understand I'm not in a situation that would be no wrap. So, any questions?
One of the reasons I suggested we try to reach out to Rapid Transit was not necessarily to purchase one of their used buses, but it was to see whether or not we could get a party to a joint purchase or a bulk purchase of these vehicles, so that we might be able to save on all the deposits. I do have a additional question. Is there any possibility of entering into a lease agreement for these vehicles as opposed to the outright purchase?
We did discuss that. I actually discussed that with John Locke. In the long run, we would end up paying more. The short one, yeah, our expenses, we would only be taking so much out each year instead of outlaying this cash in 1 year. So you'd have to wait out which way we want to go. But I do know in the long run, you're going to pay more. Where I used to work, I did the math, came up with the same thing. Maintenance and all that still is not covered even with a lease agreement. That is a possibility if we want to explore that. Was not aware of what was relayed to me was purchasing a used one, so I apologize for that.
It wasn't clear when we discussed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, the idea was that they have, vehicles that they haven't had all that much wear and tear on them could be utilized here. That was 1, and 2 was whether or not, they were entering into any kind of purchase arrangement.
And actually, the purchase from Aurora is a co-star state contract, so I don't know, how much better you would do with something like it's possibility against that. I understand. So it is a good price. So.
All right. I'd like to see information on the lease.
Okay. I move for that.
Okay. At least that way, every 4 or 5 years or whatever, we wouldn't necessarily be in this situation. But I'd like, if you're saying in the long run it's going to cost us more,
And I would think,
That way you might, but that way you don't have a situation where buses are running on their last legs.
I would think getting rid of this, replacing this 2003, we should be good for a while, because the 2009 rotated in as backup for doctors and for activities. We can get a lot of miles on it. Their 2012 bus that activities use, for the most part, 30-some thousand. So I'm thinking this would give us a lot of time by replacing this one, but I will definitely look into this.
Appreciate it.
Right, if you lease a vehicle rapid, when the lease expires, then you have to unwrap it.
I'll have to answer that question.
Yeah, because that would be probably costly.
I will check that too. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to look at, examine what our other options are.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad. Next, I'd like to call on Eric Grant, to discuss capital for the district attorney to rent the flat.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a capital purchase of 3 hoods and a balance enclosure for the laboratory, being covered by a PCCD grant for $71,864.
Any questions for Eric? Thank you. Next, I'll call on Mark Young to discuss the INTS capital request. Mark?
Good morning again, Commissioners. IMTO right now has a mobile training lab, has 12 laptops in it for students, one for a teacher and a projector as well. We use it for a bunch of different IT trainings throughout the county. We use it for the Kronos training, as well as some trainings, the voice over IP training, and then any other county department can request use of it. A couple of things that we use it for are for election days, returns and that kind of thing, and then HR uses it quite heavily for things like open enrollment. Those machines are quite old. We're looking to replace those. There's 13 of those altogether with projector as well. In addition to that, we have 5 handout laptops for other uses. So if a employee's computer goes down, we need to repair it, we often give them a laptop to use during the repair process, and then we also hand out laptops as people need them for conferences or they're working at home and those type of things. So we keep some of those on our shelves for those employee needs. Total cost of this is $27,771.
Any questions on that capital?
And the second capital project is for a server replacement upgrade project that we're doing. We have a lot of servers that are beyond 7, 8 years old that are no longer supported from a hardware perspective, and we need to also upgrade the operating systems of those anyway. So we're doing a 9 server replacement project for those. In addition to that, we have 2 servers that we need to purchase for to extend or increase the size of our backup process, their backup repositories, because we back up to disk. So we need 2 of those. In addition to the overall server project, there's software upgrades as well as that. It's called domain server upgrades. And unfortunately, the way Microsoft licensing works, we need to buy client access licenses for every employee that connects to that. So there's quite a chunk of money just on software license costs to go along with this project. $225,000 for the total project.
Any questions on that capital?
How much are the licenses per person?
Per person, I don't have those right now, but I'm looking at $80,000 for the whole county. I think it's around 25 per user. Don't hold me on that.
Because you're using their $1 trillion company. Nice racket, get into it.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to Commissioner's liaison report, and we'll begin with Commissioner Dupree.
We have none to provide this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Huxley?
Okay, well, not an awful lot to report, but I did attend the Capital Area Transit Authority's public hearing at the Hampton Township Building on TAP's new fare structure on Tuesday evening. And unfortunately, there was very light turnout of interested citizens. As a matter of fact, including myself, Commissioner Keenstock from Hampton Township is also one of our reps on the CAT board, and Controller Whitcomb. I think we outnumbered the citizens in attendance, and we had a couple. In any event, I went because I was interested in how the new fare structure is going to impact Cumberland County riders of capital area transit. And the good news is that CAT is eliminating its previous zone fare structure, where the more the ride was located away from the city of Harrisburg, and where the buses start out from and return to, the more riders would have to pay. Rich Farr, CAT's executive director on loan for rapid transit, stated pretty clearly his view that the previous CAT zone fare rate structure was unfair to riders outside of the immediate city urban hub. I'm glad to see that that inequity is being eliminated with this fare restructuring. And most of all, the majority of the routes, except for a couple of so-called express routes that travel the longest distances, will be designated as local now, as opposed to zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Local base fares will be $1.80, which for those who previously were in zone 1, which is Harrisburg and the immediate west shore, will be it's going to be $1.80. Was previously $1.75, so that's a nickel increase, and that's rather modest. But for those who were previously served by riding the bus in zone 2 and 3, most of those folks are actually going to see a significant reduction in their fares. So that's the good news, because most all the routes now are going to be designated as local. The rate restructure, from what I can tell, is more about making the fares fairer, if you will, than it is about generating additional revenues. Rich did mention at the hearing, however, that a modest inflationary fare increase is one of the requirements of Act 89 of 2013. Now, yesterday I shared with my colleagues a fare increase fact sheet that was handed out at the meeting, and I'm going to make one available to Samantha, because maybe we want to put it up on the website somewhere. In the meantime, as we all know, and I appreciate my colleagues' indulgence on this, just to share a few comments. As we all know, CAT, it's newly realigned, or newly engaged consultant. There's an effort underway to realign the bus routes in an effort to save costs and hope Springs Eternal better serve our citizens. In the face of an increasingly perilous financial condition at CAT, however, the outcome of this effort is, in my view, uncertain at best. And while there's no question that the spoke and wheel model of CAT's transit routes is an outdated and inefficient model from many decades gone by, and does not adequately serve the transit needs of our Cumberland County citizens any longer. The effort at route realignment, as we all know, could and should have been accomplished on both the local, regional level long ago and long before now. Had this board not been stymied by the intransigence of our funding partners on the other side of the river, and their opposition to transit agency administrative consolidation. I agree with my commissioner colleague, Commissioner Eichelberger, when he asserts that the exceptional expertise and good faith reform efforts by Rich Farr may not be enough to right this ship at CAT before determination about CAT's continuation or dissolution upon its expiration in 2023. Before the next Board of Commissioners has to make a decision on that, which I would expect is going to have to happen early in the next term. As this Board of Commissioners has endeavored and it's my hope we'll continue to endeavor, the next board will continue to endeavor to put Cumberland County citizens and their transit needs front and center before there's any consideration of a renewal of an authority structure that for too long has put self-preservation and the status quo ahead of needed reforms and service to the public. So we'll see how this discussion about route realignment goes, and maybe we can turn a little bit of a lemon into some lemonade. However, there are significant financial structural problems in capital area transit. And it is a shame that we didn't have the cooperation of the city of Harrisburg or Dauphin County on the transit agency administration consolidation effort 6 years ago. I think Rich Farley is doing, he's trying to move the entity in the right direction. I'm just concerned that the effort is a little, too late. And it's a shame because, we should have better transit service here in Cumberland County. So I hope we follow up from the beginning of the discussion. We had a forum, and we'll work with CAP relative to this restructuring of Bruce in the interim here. But there's going to be some big decisions that need to be made by this board. Hopefully, to the interest of the citizens of Cumberland County, first and foremost, early in the next term as commissioner. So, share my thoughts.
Okay, just a handful of things. I'll start with this since we all got goodies today. Pulse. Any unnecessary loss through suicide education, one of the programs we've been hearing about quite a bit through our mental health IED folks. So Annie mentioned that Saturday is the event here, the second annual We Care community event, and it's going to be at the fairgrounds, noon to 6. If anyone can make that, it would be terrific to put in a presence there. I'm going to try. I may have something that might keep me from getting there. I hate to say. But thank you very much for these. Keep the issue front and center with us, and of course there's the task force that's been meeting regularly, and this event will feature vendors, a petting zoo, car show, various organizations, we'll have booths, and it'll be live music. So there's a good time to be had, volunteer opportunities, if anybody has anything to offer on that. Anything else on that?
And largely, this is to help promote QPR training.
Can I ask you about that next week? Go ahead.
Okay, and that is specific suicide prevention training, and so we've been trying to push that out to the community. In July, we trained some library staff, and we've been having conversations with HR about how to roll that out across the county. Specifically, we're interested in looking at the human services departments, people who have a lot of interaction with the public.
And that's the question, persuade, refer training, QPR.
So we're excited about the work of the task force and the level of energy that these folks bring to suicide prevention. Many of the people on the task force are families who have experienced loss due to suicide. There's also a support group that meets every month. So just a real passionate group of folks, and it's been impressive to come alongside and to walk with them.
I was going to inquire about the training opportunities in the county, but that's in development, so
we actually have 6 trainers now. We can be scheduling trainings throughout the county, throughout the community. So we just got new rack cards. We're going to be handing those out Saturday, and we're hoping to have a full calendar this year. So it's an exciting season.
Are there specific areas of the county that we're emphasizing first?
Well, we were looking at the corrections officers at the prison, given that that's an important aspect of the county business, and especially for individuals who found themselves mixed up with the law. Sometimes they make choices that are not good. So whatever we can do to support, but also, children and youth, and then also JPO has expressed interest too. So those are departments that have expressed interest, so we're trying to work with them.
You mentioned the prison, so I'm sorry.
Sorry, we had talked, we're gonna have a group from NH and HR to go through to see if there are any other needs that, Jen and myself even haven't thought of that other HR managers can contact with as well.
Andy, you mentioned the prison, so could I ask you to give us a quick update on the Stepping Up initiative?
The specific initiative?
Just a summary. I don't think that we've done a lot of reporting out on that so far, so you could just give a quick summary on that and what's happening on that. I see it's referred to in the minutes.
Oh, and I'm sorry, which initiative?
The Stepping Up.
Yes. Actually, Rebecca Finke and I from the prison in the end of June attended an all-day training with the consultant with the CST Justice Initiative. Yesterday I participated on a webinar, and really what we've learned is that they have identified what they call innovator counties, and counties who have aligned with the practices that they believe would be best suited to meet people's needs. And we are this close to being one of those innovator counties. So really we need to finish the proposal, submit it to them. Berks County is identified as an innovator county, and I believe Allegheny County, but there's only 2 counties in the Commonwealth, and we're right on the cusp of being identified as an innovative county. So we would like to push that through. Rebecca and I have been really trying to continue that good work. So I'm excited about that.
Keep us regularly abreast of that. I'll be happy to report out to the organization. I think it has enormous implications for our prison population in particular. So thank you. Anything else you wanted to add on the other side? I reported the IDD stuff out and the MR stuff out at the last workshop, so kind of hit.
The LTSR project is coming along. Just a real brief update on that. I believe everything has been submitted to the state. We are waiting for the land development plan to be approved. Once that's been officially approved, then we should hopefully be ready to acquire the property officially and then break ground and hopefully have it fully operational by projections are May of 2020.
Thank you. Just a couple other things then. I'm sorry, that was to be the Perry County location, is that right?
Well, we were hoping Perry County, and now it's been identified as site in actually Cumberland County.
Yeah, okay, that's the one. All right, pretty good, thank you. Just a handful of other things. Planning, of course, we're aware about the public meeting that's been discussed for the flood rate insurance maps, the Fema maps. We're looking at early November for that. I think Kirk's mentioned this a number of times. We don't have a specific date yet. Kirk will keep you apprised to that. Land partnership program, we have the grants program. We have 14 applications. The committee's going to be meeting this month, August, and they'll be forwarding summary materials to us for final action sometime in September. As that develops, I'll let you know anything new on that. Also, I had my regular meeting with the new CADE CEO and board chair last week. We continued to onboard Mr. Keener very rapidly, and a number of initiatives that we've been hearing about at our board meetings. Anything particularly really giving its heads up on, and we'll continue to work on developing the strategic planning revisit here for hopefully later in the year. We're on a pretty aggressive schedule with that, so I'll be directly involved with that. Also in recycling, where we heard from Justin regarding the transfer of equipment, but just a couple of quick things he mentioned. The e-recycling still going strong. 2,943 pounds per day was our average in July. 2,943 pounds. Okay, household hazardous waste, August 17th, the next event. All the spots are filled except for 8. So that continues to demonstrate significant amount of demand and acceptance by the public, so all good stuff there. Yard waste, they just took delivery of not just a wood grinder, but a Moorbark 3400. So, and we're going to, Justin's going to probably call you guys to get a signature on the certificate of origin, so that is squared. So don't be surprised if he calls you about the Moorbark 3400. That's all I can.
Thank I would like to,
Can I ask a question? Hey, Jerry, the 30 cents per pound fee that we're charging for household hazardous waste, is that covering the cost?
I think we're gonna need to wait to see when it's all over. The intent is for all the costs to be covered, you know. So
I was just curious as to what the line up.
I will let you know.
I would like to take an executive session held on the following date, November 19th, 5:30 to 1 p.m. regarding personnel issues. I would also like to request an executive session be held directly after this meeting, also regarding personnel issues. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board today? Okay, hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.